Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion on the best top lane champions for Season 5, Patch 5.3. So let's get right into the video. At the number 5 spot, I have Sion. Pros to Sion are he is a very strong lane bully. His E gives him a lot of poke, and it actually does quite a bit of damage. You don't even need to go any AD on Sion, and you still do quite a bit of damage with him. He's also super tanky. You basically want to go full tank on Sion, maybe build one damage item if you feel like it, but going full tank on him just allows you to use all your CC in team fights, and it allows you to look for picks with your ultimate and not have to worry about getting blown up in team fights. And he's also got really strong engage because of his ultimate and tons of CC with his Q, his E, and his ult. And he's also got that quick level 2 cheese where he can go to either his raptor camp or his wolf camp, and he can get level 2 off of it. So all you have to do is auto attack the camp, go into your passive, and then kill the camp that you're taking, and then teleport back to lane, and you'll have level 2 before your opponent. Cons to Sion are his ult can be useless at times. If you fall behind with him, his ult, you're not really gonna find much use for it because you're not gonna want to be engaging if you fall behind with him. One thing that you can do though to make sure you don't fall behind his Sion is when you hit level 6 as him, look to lane gank bot lane. This is really easy with Sion because of his ultimate, especially if the enemy bot lane is pushing into your bot lane tower. Definitely look to lane gank because you're probably going to be able to get something out of it like 95% of the time. And he is also mana hungry in the early game. Next up on my list, I have Malphite. Pros to Malphite are he is an amazing team fighter because of his ultimate. His ultimate's one of the best ultimates in the game in my opinion because you can just win games single-handedly because of it. He's really strong against AD champions as well because the more armor that he gets, the more AD that the more damage that he will get on his E. And he's also very strong when you get ahead with him because you can always be looking for picks with his long range on his ultimate. And the Yasuo Malphite comp is really strong as well. I definitely recommend if you have a buddy, try that out because it can carry games really hard. And if the Yasuo and yourself get fed, then it's basically a free win most of the time because all that Malphite has to do is find a nice pick in a team fight. Yasuo can follow it up with a ton of damage, and you're basically guaranteed the team fight win. And he's also got surprising damage. I like to usually go Iceborne Gauntlet on him and then go full tank after that, but with the Gauntlet I find that you can all in at level 6 pretty nicely. Cons to Malphite are he does have some weaker lane matchups. Pretty much every game I like to start Flask with Malphite just so I can sustain the early game, and he is also mana hungry early, which is another reason why you should start Flask on Malphite. Next up on my list, I have Jarvan. So Jarvan is really strong in the jungle right now. I definitely recommend playing him jungle first, but for some reason, if you can't play him in the jungle or if you just want to play him top lane, I definitely recommend it because he is a really strong pick right now. He's a great laner because he has lots of damage and good poke damage with his Q, and he's got a really strong level 2 all-in as well because of his EQ combo, and he's also got good damage because of his passive. He's also got really strong engage because of his EQ knockup combo followed by his ultimate, and the Nard Jarvan comp is also really strong. If you haven't seen my video on that where I did a best duo Q combo video on them, then you can go check that out because the combo is really strong. If Jarvan can find a ultimate on multiple enemies in a team fight, Nar can just jump in and use his ultimate into the Jarvan ultimate for the stun, and it just brings for so much CC. He's also got pretty good mobility because of his EQ combo, and he's also a very good team fighter because of his ult and his EQ knockup. Cons to Jarvan are he is weaker if you fall behind with him because he is an all-in champion, and if you fall behind with him, you're not going to be able to engage and use your ultimate to its full potential, and he is also mana hungry in the early game. Next up on my list, I have Lissandra. Pros to Lissandra are she is ranged, which is really strong, especially for top lane. It allows you to poke down your opponents, and since most top lane champions are melee, or melee, however you want to pronounce it. She can just poke them down with her Q really nicely. She's also got really strong engage because of her E, her W, her ultimate, and her Q. She can just go in with her E, lock the enemy down with either her W or her ultimate, and then slow them with her Q, and it just brings for so much CC. She's also got pretty good mobility because of her E and great CC, like I just said, and she's got a pretty low cooldown on her Q. It's like a 2 or 3 second cooldown once you get that maxed out, so you're going to be able to spam that to either poke in lane, or it's also a very strong wave clear tool. Cons to Lissandra she is AP, so you might want to communicate with your team and make sure that you go in AD mid, or come late game the enemy team might start prioritizing magic resist against you. And her passive is also weak outside of the laning phase. And for a ranged champion, she is shorter range than most ranged champions, which is why you don't see her as much in the mid lane. She's still a pretty good mid lane pick, but some mid lane champions outrange her, and she's good in the top lane because her shorter range doesn't really matter too much, because she's going to be going up against a lot of melee picks. So number 1 on my list for patch 5.3 is going to be Aurelia. Prost Aurelia, she's pretty easy to learn. She doesn't have any skill shots beside her ultimate, so it makes her kit really easy to pick up on, in my opinion. She also scales really well into the late game, and she's got a great mid game power spike, because once she picks up the Trinity Force, it synergizes so well with her, and she's going to be getting those Sheen procs a lot because of her ultimate, and she just has a load of damage once she picks that up. Her E is also very strong. If you learn how to play Aurelia correctly and always stay at a little bit lower HP than your opponent, you're going to be able to get that stun off all the time and get a load of damage off, especially in team fights. If you can find a pick with your E on the enemy AD carry, you're going to be able to burst them down most of the time before they can even get out of your stun. She's also got true damage with her W, which makes her a pretty strong pick against tanks, and her passive, in my opinion, is pretty OP, because in team fights, the amount of tenacity you have, if you pick up Mercury Treads, it's just going to be really hard for the enemies to lock you down, because you just have so much tenacity. And she's also got a gap closer with her Q, and she's got good wave clear as well with her ultimate, and she is a very strong duelist. A con to Aurelia, she does have some weaker matchups in lane, so if you're not confident in your lane matchup, then just start Crystalline Flask so you can sustain the early game. So the way I'm going to do honorable mentions for now on is I'm going to place the champion splash art that I'm talking about in the top right hand corner. I'm going to talk about that champion, and then after I'm done, I'll place the next champion splash art in the top right corner so you guys can see the gameplay as well. So first up on the honorable mentions, I have Rumble. Rumble is definitely one of the best teamfight top lane champions in the game. He's also a pretty strong laner, and even if you don't do too well in the early game as Rumble, just finding a good pick with your ultimate in a teamfight could change the momentum of the game. Next up on the honorable mentions, I have Wukong. He is also a very strong teamfight top laner. Wukong, Malphite, Lissandra, actually pretty much all the champions on my list are pretty strong team fighters, which is why they are on my list. A champion like Renekton is not on my list because I just feel like he doesn't have as much teamfight presence, and in my opinion, that's where games are won and lost, in team fights. And if the champion that you're playing doesn't have the best team fight, I find it hard to carry games with them. But Wukong's definitely a really strong team fighter because of his ultimate. Next up, I have Swain. Swain is another AP top laner who is ranged, so if you're looking for a ranged AP top, then I definitely recommend picking up Swain or Lissandra. He's also got a very strong late game, and he's also pretty strong against assassins, so if the enemy top laner picks an assassin, or if the enemy mid lane has an assassin, I would definitely recommend picking up Swain. Next up, I have Gnar. Gnar is one of the best teamfight top laners in the game because of his Mega Form. When you get into Mega Form as Gnar, and if you can jump in and ult the enemies into a wall, then it just brings for so much CC. And if you haven't tried out the Gnar and Jarvan combo yet, then I definitely recommend it. I made a video on it a little while ago, so if you haven't seen that, then definitely go check it out if you want. Riven does have some weaker lane matchups, which is why she's not on my top 5, but if you are a Riven main, or if you can find that good lane matchup as her, then you can carry really hard. She snowballs insanely hard, and she's got a ton of CC and a load of damage. I just don't like her for every game because I do find that I'm not able to win every matchup as her because she does have quite a few counters. And last but not least, on the honorable mentions, I have Nasus. Nasus is also a champion who does have some weaker lane matchups, but if you can find the right matchup, or if you are a Nasus main and you know how to work around his counters, once you get your Q stacked as Nasus, he starts to do an insane amount of damage, and his Wither is also really strong. If you can place that on the enemy AD carry in a team fight, you're going to be able to two-shot most squishies come late game. So that is all for the video, guys. If you enjoyed, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.